All right, I'm not muted now. All right. So, sorry about that, guys. I just talked for 5 minutes, and you guys weren't able to hear me. So, that may be good and bad. But what I wanted to say to you guys is I'm just going to start from here. I'll clip the actual live video to where I start right here so y'all won't have to put up with all of the muted sound. I want to thank all of you who have joined in so far and hung it with me through the silence, right? I said quite a bit leading up to this. But what I really wanted to get out is I want to welcome everyone to the first episode of the Rocky Miller Podcast. This is a podcast that I'm going to host where I can respond to trending topics, things of that nature, sports and culture, not necessarily centered around HBCU content. It's more of hot topics and things of that nature. And I want to be able to get on here without any preparation or anything. Just get on here and respond to things that are happening not only in sports but also in the culture. So if you guys have been living under a rock, then you guys haven't heard about LeBron James orchestrating, along with the Lakers, the drafting of his oldest son, Bronny James, along with the hiring of J.J. Redick, right? Those are things that have happened for the Lakers. And what I want to, in this podcast, what I want to discuss is not just that, but I also want to respond to some comments that Dr. Umar Johnson made regarding the orchestration of Bronny James being drafted and J.J. Redick being hired by the Lakers. I want to give my responses. And if you are so inclined, you're welcome also to join in this conversation. And you can always text or call. You can text or call 254-300-6330. That's 254-300-6330. And you can call in to get into the conversation, and you'll be broadcast live on the air. But with no further ado, I wanted to get into this. Now, Dr. Umar Johnson is a social media influencer. He's a trained school psychologist. And I want to say he has a doctorate in psychology. And so he's a guy, I also say he's an activist and a leader in the black community, right? And he's somebody that never shies away from controversy as it relates to sports and culture. And he made some interesting comments regarding the hire of J.J. Redick and the drafting of Bronny James. And I want to play his comments right now. Wrong clip. See? Let me get it right now.
About the power that LeBron has in the Lakers organization, because you brought up Steve Nash and how he had no experience. Right. So when you see LeBron, he gets his son drafted and the hiring of J.J. Redick, who's never coached anywhere.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
I'm disappointed in Black America because I feel like they're attacking Bronny more than J.J. Redick.
I agree with you 100%.
How the hell is Bronny James getting all this heat from Black America, but J.J. Redick ain't getting all this heat? J.J. Redick ain't never won nothing. He ain't win nothing in college. He ain't win nothing in the NBA. He wasn't no MVP. I don't know if he was ever first team offense or defense, maybe once or twice, but he clearly don't have the record of a Sam Cassell. Mm-hmm. Sam Cassell should have been offered that Lakers job, and if not the Lakers job, one of the coaching vacancies. Look at all these good black assistant coaches out there who are being overlooked for white privilege. J.J. Redick did not earn that position. They gave it to him. But rather than attack that, we're going to attack the 19-year-old kid? Mm-hmm. I want LeBron to play with his son because the optics of that, I think, will be very positive for young black males, and I think it could be a small motivation for black men to do more with their sons and more with our boys. So I want to see LeBron and Bronny on the same court with one disclaimer: if I don't catch Bronny James bunny hopping no damn more. Because if he
all right, those were the comments by Dr. Umar Johnson on the Breakfast Club. He was asked simply what was his thoughts about Bronny James and what has happened with the Lakers. And he criticized Black America for not scrutinizing the J.J. Redick hire. And actually what he said was, we're scrutinizing Bronny James being drafted more than we're scrutinizing the J.J. Redick being hired. And I somewhat agree. I agree in this regard. Bronny James is a kid that has benefited from who his father is. And to be honest with you, that's what we all want for our kids, right? If we've lived a good life, if we set a good example, if we've made the right connections as fathers and as mothers, as parents, then hopefully our children can benefit from those associations and those privileges and those connections that we've made. I know I've helped my children out, help them get jobs, get internships, get all kind of things as it relates to them trying to progress into adulthood. And a lot of times I believe the reason why they were given such opportunities is because of who their mom and dad was, right? That's the same thing that happened here. I don't understand why America as a whole, particularly Black America, has a problem with Bronny James being given the privilege of being drafted into the NBA, considering the greatness of his father. It's not like Bronny James is not worthy whatsoever. At the end of the day, he was a McDonald's All-American. He played major college basketball. He went to the combine. It was the MVP and had a 40.5-inch vertical. He has the pedigree that's worthy of being drafted in the NBA. Whether he's a good enough player to be impactful, we'll find that out. We'll find that out. We'll see that. That'll be determined on the court by Bronny James. We can talk about it beforehand, but at the end of the day, what kind of NBA player Bronny James becomes is going to be decided on the court. And personally, I'm rooting for the kid. I hope he becomes a great NBA player. If he becomes a good NBA player, I'll be happy with that. Let's say this, even if he becomes a journeyman player, right? I think that's even a success, considering, the health scare that he had at age 18 prior to entering college. Considering he had major heart surgery at age 18. Even if he becomes a journeyman NBA player, I think that's a huge accomplishment. And I think LeBron James using his power and will to create an opportunity for his son has been way scrutinized more than I care to think about. It's been scrutinized ad nauseum. LeBron James using his power and influence to create an opportunity for his son. However, what's not been scrutinized enough is LeBron James using his power and influence to create the opportunity for J.J. Redick, what I would consider a middling NBA player who did not have any championships, was not, in my opinion, did not have any remarkable career. He made some money, but in the NBA, everybody make money. LeBron James creating an opportunity for J.J. Redick. Was this something that LeBron had to do? Should LeBron have done it for a player, not a player, and a coach who really has no experience coaching at the pro level? Now, I'm a LeBron guy, right? So at the end of the day, I'm going to support whatever decision LeBron has. I can support J.J. Redick being hired as coach because ultimately I see that as that's what LeBron wanted. LeBron wanted J.J. Redick hired as coach. It's LeBron using his power and influence to create the outcome he wanted. And considering LeBron's track record of championships and success in basketball, being a LeBron guy, I can go along with it. The same way I can go along with him using his power and influence to have his son drafted in the second round by the Lakers. At the very end of the day, I trust LeBron's judgment over the Lakers organization, over Jeannie Buss, and for that matter, over anybody else in basketball. So if he thinks J.J. Redick will be a good fit for the team, I trust LeBron's judgment. But did LeBron need to use his power and influence to create an opportunity for, let's be honest, a white coach who was probably going to be given a privilege at some point anyway? He didn't have to, but he did. And people I don't think that's been scrutinized enough. Now, when you think about it, there have been other coaches, other players who's been given the opportunity to coach basketball teams without having head coaching experience. Off the top of my head, I remember Doc Rivers came right out of the broadcasting booth, and I believe he went to maybe Orlando, if I'm not mistaken. Then it was, I want to say Jason Kidd was given an opportunity shortly after he retired from the NBA. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Steve Kerr was maybe given a job as GM right out of the broadcast booth. So it's been done before. It's been done before. And with the three guys that I mentioned, it's been a pretty successful run for when you think Doc Rivers, he won a championship with Boston. Steve Kerr, was an integral part of the dynasty of Golden State. And at the end of the day, Jason Kidd has had a pretty decent career as a head coach, being that he took the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals. So it's not unprecedented, and there has been some measure of success. Now, we can talk about guys like, I want to say Steve Nash, who got the job at Brooklyn, and when he was coaching what I consider the super team with James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie, that didn't pan out. But I don't think that was due to Steve Nash per se. I think there were other factors going on there where that didn't pan out. But certainly, I think Dr. Umar has a point that as Black America, we've given the choice of hiring J.J. Redick a pass, which it certainly can be scrutinized considering the number of Black assistant coaches that are in the NBA who are qualified to hold that position. At the top of my head, you got guys like Sam Cassell, recently fired guys like Adrian Griffin. Those guys are qualified to coach, and so they could have taken advantage of that opportunity. Anybody who gets an opportunity to coach the caliber of people like players like LeBron and AD, you got to think the coach is going to have some level of success. Even Darvin Ham has some level of success with AD and LeBron. They went to the conference finals last year, and they made the playoffs both years. So again, my issue with LeBron hiring J.J. Redick is really about the lack of opportunities it seems like Black coaches in the NBA have a much shorter leash when they do get those opportunities, and they certainly don't seem like they get them as often. When you look at a guy like Vogel, right? He's been hired over and over again, and we all know the number of the coaches that have been hired over and over again in the NBA. Doesn't seem like, in my opinion, that Black coaches get that same opportunities over and over and over again. Certainly not ex-players. And so, it's just one of those things that I have to really look at, and also, take a scrutinize, so to speak. But I do trust LeBron and LeBron's judgment as it pertains to basketball, because at the end of the day, I am a LeBron fan, and I trust the king. All right, let me see if we have any texts or any calls, any comments you guys want to make before we get out of here. Let me see. All right, don't look like we have any texts or calls, man. This has been this is what you can expect with the Rocky Miller podcast. I won't keep you long, but I will be strong, right? I will be strong. I will have opinions. I will voice that opinions. Feel free to call and disagree with me if you have a disagreement. If you want to make a better point, feel free to call and make a better point in the show. Again, I want to have as much positive feedback and much feedback or interaction from the audience and the viewers as possible, man. I want this to be fun and interactive. So until next time, this has been your boy Rocky. Much love, and I'm out.